again welcoming you to the next session and continuing our discussion on quality based service characteristics. So, there are 6 specific quality characteristics we have identified: specifications, orientation of service functions. Okay, that is very important in fact. Like there are different kinds of the services being offered in a hospital, like say MRI or a CT scan of various types. Is it okay? In one particular hospital, the CT scan you have, or X-ray machine simply. In our childhood, you will find that there are different kinds of X-ray machine we used to have, and we used to know that if you go to so and so doctor, his X-ray machine is fantastic. You are getting my point. So, these aspects are very, very important, the specification orientation of service functions. Then completeness of service, it is your opinion being the customers, right. So, all the details are here, you just go through. Accuracy of service, accuracy means what? That means to what extent you can meet the standards, is it okay? And these standards, your own standards, individual opinion, individual perception. You know, there is a very important study or the research area, there is a perception study, there is an area. So, whenever you talk about the service, we can't neglect that perception study, is it okay? Then and this perception varies from one culture to another, right. So, you offer a good quality service, assumed to be good quality service in say UK. The same sort of features, if you just borrow and try to maintain that, the customers here may not be satisfied at all, is it okay? Accuracy of service, price or cost related functional characteristics, is it okay? Like whenever you say the quality definition is not complete if the price is not mentioned. Quality at what price, is it okay? Like a Parker pen you purchase, you spend some say 2000 rupees, and now within say 1 month you find that it is not working properly. So, you say, hey, hell with it, it is of bad quality. But suppose you purchase a 10 rupee price ball pen, and it lasts for say 3 months, right. There are many such cases. This is ball pen, simple. Then you say yes, it is very good. But whereas the features over here and features in the Parker pen totally different. Are you getting my point? So, any quality you offer, there is a price tag, and many a time now quality at what price, that is very, very important. Now, process of execution of services, right. Now, this is a very complex, it is not that easy. So, there are many kinds of interactions, there are many kinds of issues involved. So, I do not want to discuss all this, is it okay? This is a research topic. So, I prepared this, okay, and this is a the systems flow chart. Interactions are there. There are the diamonds, means the question box, whether you will go this side or that side, right? Yes, no type, and on. There are rectangles, the many rectangles, the many sorts of activities you have to carry out. Okay, so this is just a framework, just showing you. I do not need to explain. That means you can well imagine that how complex it is. Okay. Later on, this will give you these diagrams to you, right, and you can study it thoroughly. It needs time, one by one. Okay. Now, so in the process of executing a particular service, what are the critical aspects in the service execution process, not executive process. It's a service execution process. This is wrong. I'm sorry. Just write it down as execution process, service execution process. First one is the selection of the service type. Okay, this is an important issue. Availability of service type. Is it okay? Whether this is available or not. Delivery of goods and services. Right. Evaluation of results by the service personnel. That means I am running a show. It's made for the customers. So periodically I must assess, okay, what I am doing actually, whether I am meeting the standards or not. Then interaction of customers with service personnel. This is to be looked into. Evaluation of results by customers is another very important issue. You must not, these are all necessary elements, essentials, not only necessary but essential. You have to take corrective actions. There will be some deviations, there will be some errors. So you have to take corrective actions. They can't think of any execution of service without bothering about the errors. Then opinion survey and market survey. Is it okay? The market survey in a bigger scale. Opinion survey means the kinds of customers you are dealing with. Okay, they are your babies. Their opinion counts. Are you getting my point? So first you start with opinion survey with a small group, and then you may go for extension of this one, call it a market survey. Then the program to develop interpersonalization. That means many a time what happens that the company earns a very bad name because of bad behavior, rude behavior. Is it okay? Otherwise system is all right. So one person is responsible. That salesman is responsible, not the company. But he is representing the company. Is it okay? He is very irregular. His behavior is not appropriate. Such things to be checked. And periodically such persons should be trained in developing the interpersonal skills. Program to increase performance. Is it okay? So what are the specific programs you should launch? Okay, every year. Expectation is that your performance gets improved. Set long-term goals of the organization. Is it okay? You are not only living for today. Invariably your service quality will be very, very poor. When I have a long-term thinking, that means whether to what extent you are able to sustain it. Okay. So in that case, obviously you have no other alternatives but to go for setting long-term goals of the organization. Now you will be dealing with several types of constraints. Is it okay? So what are those constraints? There could be time constraints, there could be location constraint. Okay. You want to offer many things, but then again, the price has to be very, very high, and the local condition doesn't permit to offer a very highly priced the customer service. Is it okay? Financial constraint, investment in new technology, okay, in new types of the systems to be incorporated, or say computerization. Social constraints. This is a serious law. You just put a note of interrogation. How do you interpret this one? Is it okay? And the hostile, indifferent customers. Is it okay? So this is to be looked into. There must be a special cell. This is a regular occurrence, hostile customers, whether the system is responsible or whether the person who is dealing with him or her, he is principally responsible. Is it okay? Many times what happens that you try to say that system is responsible, I am not responsible. Now this is not acceptable in almost all sorts of service organizations. Loss of customers. What are the reasons? There must be some analysis. So what are the conclusions? Conclusion is you must believe in there is a growing importance of addressing problems of service organizations. Do you believe it? Then only you will be interested in studying all these aspects. Traditional approaches for measurement and evaluation of service organizational performance are not applicable. This is our viewpoints, in fact. Like there are very good textbooks on this. You will find that there are measurement techniques in measurement evaluation. There are 4 principal measurement techniques. Is it okay? The first one is the cost based, second one is the objective based, the third one is based on normative the performance measurement techniques. Fourth one is the surrogate measures. What do you find that out of these 4, to some extent the objective based performance measurement system is applicable for service organizations. Okay. And there is a lot of scope for improvement. Large number of interrelated variables and factors need to be considered. When I show you that flow diagram, is a very complex. How do you say it is a complex system? Because there are a lot of interactions. It's a lot of and or conditions. Is it okay? And/or conditions need to be considered in service organization, and hence a total approach for problem identification and solution is a must. Okay. So, I conclude here. Now, I will request Professor Ghosh to conclude the sessions. Nalda, how long you will be taking? Okay, please. So, it is more important to know where you are going than to get there quickly. Do not mistake activity for achievement. She is a great educationist. She is no more in this world, but what a nice quote. Okay, now I request Professor Ghosh to take the stage and discuss some other important issues.
Yeah, Professor Rai has made my job very tough and a challenging one, in the sense that with so much of academic insights, people from industry, they find it very difficult to match. And another thing is that sir has raised your level of expectations. Okay, so your expectation level is very high, and I am delivering service to you. So if the service that you perceive delivered by me falls below your level of expectation, there will be a gap and there will be customer dissatisfaction. So I have to recover from that service failure. Okay. So that is the challenge in front of me. Now, say again, let me accept that challenge, and as Professor Rai rightly discussed, that today's business world is is in the age of an experience economy. Okay. So the world started with that agricultural economy. We moved from that agricultural economy to industrial economy. Then with the advent of information technology, service became the stronghold, and then it's no longer service economy. It is now experience economy. Okay. And in the experience economy, the one thing which matters, that whether you can remember the level and the quality of service. It's a memorability. So how do we delight our customers in this experience economy is the biggest challenge. Okay. Today, since we have limited time and you have come with lots of expectations from this course, I would like to emphasize on the certain challenges that are there in the management of service operations. As Professor Rai rightly told, that if you look at the characteristics of the service operations, okay, you will find that the entry and exit barriers for different kinds of services is very low. With a very low capital, you can enter a service, and even if you exit from that service, it does not matter. Okay? And hence, the challenge is that anybody can copy what others are doing. So service operations are not patentable, and as a result, the biggest challenge for the survival and growth of a service providing firm is basically continuous service improvement or service innovation. So as a result, you can link innovation with the type of services that you are, because you have to constantly come out with new offerings, new models in order to delight your customers, because as Professor Rai rightly told, customer satisfaction is very subjective. It varies from individual to individual. How do we basically balance that? Is one challenge. Second thing, if you look at the nature of services, services are intangible by nature. If you go to a very good hotel, before you go to bed, you will find that there will be a rose with a nice card, or sometimes they keep challenge, chocolates, Cadbury's and other things in 5-star hotels. Why do they do that? Just to remind you that they have made your bed. Because service operations are intangible, so you have to make it tangible. So service operation firms, they are trying to make certain aspects visible so that the tangibility characteristics of the services can become apparent. Again, as Professor Rai rightly told, that customers, they participate in the service delivery process. It's not an unilateral. You will be staying in the guest house today, you will be going and taking food, so it is a self-service, buffet. So you also interact. In the process, what happens that measurement of quality and managing quality is a challenge. And see, unlike manufacturing, measurement of service quality is very difficult. Why? Because most of the factors by their very nature are intangible, so you cannot measure them. Second thing, customer is participating in the process, and you cannot test it before delivery of the services, because it is simultaneously getting consumed. If the quality of service that you deliver is not up to the mark, there is no scope for you to rectify it. Gone. So these challenges, make the service operations management very, very difficult. And also, what happened? The variability, sir told that the service delivery times are variable. So also the demand. The variability in demand is so high. How do you manage those variable aspects of demand and balance it with the service that you are delivering? Like say you go to this, you will be staying in this hotel or this guest house, they have a reservation system. How many seats or how many rooms they will overbook? Otherwise what will happen? Sometimes they will not be able to meet person's demand who have applied earlier. You look at this airplane seat, many a times these seats, they go vacant. They keep some seats reserved for a full fare ticket passengers. How many seats you will reserve? It is a challenge. So there is a entirely new field that is coming out, that is called yield management. Lots of operational research techniques, mathematical optimization techniques have been developed to balance this variable nature of demand. This is one. The other kinds of challenges that are there, like say you are trying to introduce a new service, what are the factors that predominantly decide the level of outcome? Because the customer satisfaction is based, as sir rightly pointed out, it is not the price, not the cost, for the value of money, value for money. So the value delivered to the customers will ultimately decide what is the performance outcome, whether the customers they will accept it or they will throw away. Like just look at one typical problem like these beauty salons. Suppose you want to introduce a beauty salon. Nowadays you will find lots of advertisements coming out, Kaya Clean Clinic, and Kia Shade, this, that, so many things. People are going there for face makeup, this, that, and so many things. Now, if I want to introduce that kind of service today, okay, what are the factors that will be the critical ones that I have to determine? Now, say let's look at let's take this example. I want to introduce a beauty salon. For a service providing firm like me, if you look at the output variables, what are the things that matter to a customer, and how do you know that whether customers have accepted it, whether this beauty clinic will survive or not? We assume that as a service provider, I have the leadership skills, I have the management competencies and all. So those things, without those things you cannot run. Given that I have that management skill, that leadership, money, everything, let me see what are the things that matter. As a service provider, I will find that my service is acceptable to them if the level of acceptability increases. That means the diffusion rate of that service in the economy increases. That is one. Second thing, the time to market a new kind of service should be also short enough. Otherwise, competitors will come in and I will lose the first mover advantage. And there are so many profitability, return on investment, you can have so many output variables. But these output variables are positively influenced by the value delivered to the clients. And what can be the value delivered to the clients? Maybe this is a composite, this is a construct, consists of several variables. Okay, you cannot have one variable. So you can say, people might say privacy is one important thing, the safety and hygiene can be one, the quality characteristics of services in terms of reliability, responsiveness, empathy, assurance, tangibles, so many factors, they are responsible for that. Now, how these are positively influenced by the service delivery competency of that organization, which is also governed by the training given to those persons, the technology deployed, the knowledge base of that organization, the R&D facilities that they are doing, and this is also enabled by the relational competencies that the organization has got in terms of building partnership with the suppliers, customers, and other firms, competitors even, right? The coordination skills of those service providing agencies and so many things. And finally, the overall your management competency governs this. Out of all the manifest variables, that means associated with each of these latent constructs, which are the primary ones, which are the most important ones, because you cannot keep everything within your control, or you cannot give equal emphasis to everything. So what are those primary things that matters? In this lots of statistical techniques like structural equation modeling, factor analysis, and other things are now trying to help the researchers. So tomorrow we look into all these aspects, and I find that you are very keen on research and other things, and I hope that the sessions will be interesting, and maybe the gap between your expectations and my service delivery and Professor Rai's service delivery will be minimized to the extent possible. Thank you all.
Thank you. So we are closing the